Hi, today is day 191 of my journey to Google, and I did a lead code question of time-based sorting, and then I did estimation relevant numbers. So coming to the caching, for caching you have memory storage available like would be around 500 GB to 1 TB memory, and your latency would be 1 millisecond, and write would be 1 to 2 milliseconds. And your throughput can be 100k requests per seconds. So coming to your database, so for your SQL RDS, it will be 64 TB, and for the Aurora one, it can be 128 TB for single instance, and latency would be 5 to 30 milliseconds, and write would be the same. So the throughput can be 50k transactions per seconds for reads and 20k transaction per seconds for writes. And if your storage is beyond 50 TB or 100 TB, you can consider sharding. In interview, you should know when you should shard. So if your memory is going beyond that, then shard only. Otherwise, you don't need it. And reduce latency for reads, you can use cross-region replications. So for application servers, your average server can handle 100k requests per second and can have a RAM of 500 to 500 GB, and startup time can be 30 seconds to 60 seconds. You should keep this in mind because there will be a time when you'll have to scale and all, so that time you should know how much the boot up time will be. CPU utilization, so once it's beyond 70%, you can consider scaling. And response latency beyond SLA also you can consider scaling. Coming to the message queues, you have SQS, which has a latency of 30 milliseconds and throughput of 3000 messages per second, and Kafka, which is very fast, it has 1 to 5 milliseconds and throughput of 500k messages per second. This is for single instances. You often get the throughput and latency of clusters. And for then I did a simple URL shortener design. You have 1 million users, 50% of them create a new URL daily. They create on average 2 URL, so you have 1 million URLs per day. Then you have 10 writes per seconds and 100 reads per seconds on an average. So average length of the URL will be 100 bytes, shortened URL will be 10 bytes. So you will be handling 100 bytes of data approx, and per day it would be 0.1 GB. For 1 year it will be 40 GB, and that's how you calculate. So in this you can see you don't need to shard or scale anything because it is very low number. And that's the update for today. Thank you.